Campaigning for the high-stakes battle in Punjab ended today. Punjab, remember, will vote on Sunday. Today, Prime Minister Modi met with prominent Sikhs at his residence in Delhi. The Congress, meanwhile, trained its guns on rival Aam Aadmi Party over Kumar Vishwas's comments. Will the Aam Aadmi Party make a decisive dent in this election is the big question.
The campaign has ended in Punjab, and it's not just the next state government which is at stake, but a report card on top politicians. In Delhi, the Prime Minister met a group of Sikh clerics. His party, the BJP, is fighting separate from the Akali Dal for the first time since the 1990s. It's been a battle of survival for the Akali Dal. The 101-year-old party suffered its worst electoral drubbing in 2017. Quit the central government in 2020 and is fighting separately from the BJP for the first time in over 2 decades. And it's trying to shed accusations of sacrilege and drugs.
It is the easiest battle this time. Clean sweep for Akali Dal BSP. Congress and AAP have lost the game in Punjab. They won't get more than 10 seats.
But the big buzz is around the Aam Aadmi Party. A win in Punjab will give the party a full-fledged state under its rule and boost its national stature. Arvind Kejriwal held a road show in Sukhbir Badal's stronghold. In the last stages of the campaign, both the Prime Minister and the Congress's Rahul Gandhi have accused him of hobnobbing with terrorists.
शायद मैं दुनिया का सबसे स्वीट आतंकवादी होऊंगा जो लोगों के लिए अस्पताल बनवाता है, लोगों के लिए स्कूल बनवाता है, बुजुर्गों को तीर्थ यात्रा पे भेजता है।
केजरीवाल जी को बाहर आकर हाँ या ना का जवाब देना चाहिए। उल्टी सीधी बात नहीं करनी चाहिए। उन्हें पंजाब को सीधा बताना चाहिए कि कुमार विश्वास सच बोल रहा है या झूठ।
But the party is fighting a dual battle, anti-incumbency and an internal rebellion in the last 6 months after sacking Amrinder Singh as Chief Minister and choosing Charanjit Singh Channi over Navjot Singh Sidhu as the CM face has not resolved the crisis.
Captain Amrinder Singh and Badals are two sides of the same coin. बादलों की तरफ और कैप्टन की तरफ जाना मतलब बैक गियर लगाना, और अगर बदलाव की तरफ जाना है तो ये शख्स सामने खड़ा है प्लान के साथ, नीतिबद्ध योजनाबद्ध तरीके से.
The outcome will be a reflection on the Gandhi siblings who have been handling the Punjab unit's crisis. Despite their handling, Congress rebels are contesting more than a dozen seats and 3 prominent leaders have now been expelled just days before the poll.
Campaign for Punjab polls 2022 comes to an end today, and now more than 2 crore Punjabis will decide the party which really raised their issues and concerns and promised to resolve it after coming to power. In Firozpur, Mohammad Ghazali for NDTV.
Well, campaigning may have come to an end, but the battle is far from over. Now, in the latest developments, Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi has written to Home Minister Amit Shah demanding a probe into Arvind Kejriwal's alleged Khalistani links. This is the latest development that we're tracking. Mohammad Ghazali joins us with the very latest. Ghazali, sharp criticism already coming in from the Aam Aadmi Party as well, calling Congress BJP bhai bhai.
Yeah, this is the allegation which Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party has been making since 2017, that Congress or Akali BJP combine and rest of the parties are all together harming AAP's prospects in Punjab. And today they say that it has become more evident. Both Rahul Gandhi and Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well as Akali Dal have been accusing Aam Aadmi Party to clear their stand on the allegations being made by one of their former members, Kumar Vishwas, who says that AAP's Arvind Kejriwal had links with the extremists or Sikh ex-extremists who are settled abroad. Now, Arvind Kejriwal today came out in his own defense, and what he said was that I may be the sweetest terrorist who is building hospitals or providing education to poor children and all, but no clear condemnation has come from Aam Aadmi Party. Rather, they have just been blaming the opposition parties for ganging up. And even today, Charanjit Singh Channi has written a letter to Home Minister Amit Shah saying that a probe is must into these allegations. not only Kumar Vishwas's allegation, but later also was circulated on social media where a banned outfit Sikh for Justice has extended its support, allegedly extended its support to Aam Aadmi Party. Now, for both the issues, the Chief Minister had written a letter to Home Minister Amit Shah, while both Mr. Channi and Mr. Shah were campaigning through the day, but immediately Mr. Shah has responded to the Chief Minister's letter saying that it is a serious issue. It concerns the national security as well, and he will certainly look into the issue. But this entire issue is playing up after the campaign has ended. 2 days we have to go into the polls. Within 2 days, Punjab will go to polls, and it's as similar as what happened back in 2017, when just a couple of days before Punjab's voting, a bomb blast killed around 7 people in Bathinda's Maud area, and that case is still unresolved. And that particular bomb blast had harmed the Aam Aadmi Party's poll prospects in the previous polls. So Aam Aadmi Party says that this is the same ploy, this is the same narrative which opposition parties are building up against it, but they have no connection. But still, as I mentioned, Aam Aadmi Party or any of the leaders has not come out to clearly condemn what or deny or refuse what Mr. Vishwas has been alleging in his statements.
Thanks, Ghazali, for joining us with all those latest political developments. We'll, of course, continue to track that story very closely. Meanwhile, protests at the Kerala Assembly as well. The Kerala opposition is holding protests against the governor and the chief minister. The governor objected to the pension for the minister's staff, and the opposition, in fact, staged a walkout as the governor read the policy address.
Protest by the Kerala opposition against both the governor and chief minister. What is meant to be largely ceremonial, protocol-driven became a flashpoint between the governor, Arif Mohammed Khan, and Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan. Working backwards, this is what happened.
You will have the session to discuss all these things. This is not the time.
A day before the budget session, the governor initially refused to sign the policy address. That is the speech he's meant to read. The chief minister rushed to meet the governor on Thursday, but failed to convince him to clear the speech. What the governor was upset about, according to sources, was a senior government official writing this letter a few days ago against the appointment of a BJP leader to the governor's personal staff, among other reasons. Last evening, the official was transferred, and the governor signed the speech after a call from the chief minister. However, the opposition alleges a nexus as the governor signed the ordinance which waters down the Lokayukta, or the top anti-corruption agency's powers, just days before the assembly was set to meet.
The Honorable Governor has supported the illegal activities of the state government, including approval of the unconstitutional Lokayukta Amendment Ordinance. Definitely there is an unholy nexus between the Governor and the Chief Minister.
The left has rubbished the allegations. The left government has sighed in relief with the governor's address done for now. However, the flashpoint between the governor, government, as well as the governor's CM vis-a-vis the opposition could well continue to be at the political epicenter for some time to come. With camera person SP Babu, Sneha Koshi for NDTV.
Well, on to the other big development we're tracking. Chitra Ramakrishna, the former head of the country's largest stock exchange, was questioned for 12 hours by the CBI over the infamous tick-by-tick market manipulation case. In an email now dated February 17, 2015, from the yogi, this mysterious yogi that the CBI is probing, this email, in fact, reads, PS, keep bags ready. I'm planning a travel to the Seychelles next month. We'll try if you can come. So clearly, Chitra Ramakrishna and the yogi are planning some kind of a travel to the Seychelles according to this email that has now been revealed. The email also talks about details of how they'll go swimming and enjoy a sea bath in the Seychelles and in fact rest on the beach. The email goes on to talk about how there are coordinations that are happening for tickets. Further, an email on the 25th of February also talks about getting the countdown started for Seychelles, where you can just chill out. Sohit has the details.
After income tax, the CBI questions Chitra Ramakrishnan, the former CEO and MD of NSE, at her house in the city on Friday. So Right now we are present at her residence, and this is where the CBI's team questioned her for almost 12 hours on Friday. Apart from this, the Central Probe Agency has also issued lookout circular against her, along with former Chief Executive Officer Ravi Narayan, Chief Operating Officer Anand Subramaniam, and they are being prevented from leaving the country. While the income tax officials have been investigating on Thursday, their investigation continued on Friday as well. The two main issues regarding this entire controversy, number one is that Chitra Subramaniam allegedly provided internal information of NSE to an outsider, her spiritual guru, and we saw that there have been several emails that have been shared which is coming forward. And that's one of the reasons that she's been questioning, that who is this person and why was she sharing all these details. As of now, the investigation for the same is going on, and the CBI investigated the same thing for almost 12 hours in this very apartment on Friday. Apart from that, she's also in controversy for creating a post of Chief Strategic Officer in the NSE and hiring Subramaniam on the post by her own at an annual salary of 1.38 crore, which was subsequently increased to 4 crore. So in February, the SEBI issued the final order and imposing a 3 crore penalty on Chitra and 2 crore on Anand.
CBI interrogated Chitra Ramakrishna, former CEO of India's largest stock exchange. She had shared confidential data with a godman in Himalayas. Here's latest what happened in the case today.
This is Chitra Ramakrishna's flat in Mumbai. Today she was summoned and questioned by the CBI on charges of market manipulation. A week ago, an investigation by SEBI, the market regulator, exposed the bizarre case. The agency has alerted airports to prevent the key accused from fleeing. These are Ramakrishna, her predecessor Ravi Narayan, and Anand Subramaniam, whom she appointed to a top position with a high pay and many perks. Anand Subramaniam got the job simply on the basis of mails from the mysterious godman to Ramakrishna. There are three agencies now investigating the NSE scandal: the CBI, the Enforcement Directorate and SEBI. Despite this, none of them has been able to identify the mysterious godman who effectively held sway over the NSE, which then had a market cap of hundreds of billions of dollars. Ramakrishna stepped down in 2016, ostensibly for personal reasons.
Despite the enormity of the case, none of these three individuals have been arrested. However, CBI sources confirmed to NDTV that Chief Operating Officer Anand and also Ravi Narayanan, predecessor of Chitra Ramakrishna, have been informally questioned by CBI. Soon they would be formally questioned too. The agency, however, yet to have answered some tough questions. The biggest one being that how did these three people continue and got away for so long? In New Delhi, with camera person Ashok Mahale, this is Neeta Sharma reporting for NDTV.
On to the other big story we're tracking tonight. Yati Narsinganand, the prime accused in the Haridwar Dharam Sansad hate speech row, walked out of the Haridwar jail after a district court granted him bail in the pending cases against him. So he's essentially walked out a free man on bail within a month of his arrest. What's more, well, he was given a hero's welcome.
As he walks out of Haridwar jail after getting bail in the two cases filed against him in January, barely a month from his arrest. His lawyers say the court, while granting bail, had not found the case to be serious. Yati at the gathering had made speeches threatening Muslims, asking Hindus to take up arms, intensify war against Muslims, and saying that economic boycott of Muslims was not enough.
माननीय सत्र न्यायालय द्वारा मामले को बहुत गंभीर न पाते हुए और जमानत का उचित आधार पाते हुए इनको जमानत दे दी गई है. बाकी अभी इसकी कार्रवाई इन्वेस्टिगेशन की सीज है.
In the bail order, District Court barred Narsinganand from giving any inflammatory speeches, participate in any such events in future, intimidating witnesses. Despite this, Yati sat on a protest in Haridwar demanding the release of Narayan Tyagi, his associate arrested in the hate speech case. He claimed he said nothing wrong and was in fact making the same assertions as the government.
हम केवल अपने भाई का इंतजार कर रहे हैं. जैसे ही त्यागी जी आ जाएंगे, जितेंद्र नारायण सिंह त्यागी जी छुट के आ जाएंगे जमानत पे, हम लोग यहाँ से उठ के उन्हें लेके चले जाएंगे। यही सरकार है जो खुद कुछ भी कह रही है, हम कह रहे हैं तो हमें जेल में डाला जा रहा है।
Experts say the reason why Yati Narasimhanan was able to get bail is because he was charged under hate speech laws, which are relatively easily bailable, despite the Haridwar gathering making genocidal death threats to Muslims and even threatening the Indian state with armed insurrection. While journalists and activists seen as critical of the government have been charged under much more stringent anti-terror laws, keeping them in jail for years. Umar Khalid, former JNU student and activist, charged with provocative speeches in Elgar Parishad case, in jail for 17 months. Sharjeel Imam, PhD scholar from JNU, charged with provocative speeches ahead of Delhi riots, in jail for 24 months. Siddiqui Kappan, journalist charged with UAPA, in jail for 16 months. Shockingly, despite the matter being in the Supreme Court, barring two, none of the other Haridwar hate mongers have yet been arrested. And one of them, Yati, has walked out on bail. With camera person Sajjad Kaushik and Rahul Kumar in Haridwar, I'm Akshay Dongre for NDTV.
Well, the other big political story we're tracking, Mamata Banerjee has backed her nephew Abhishek Banerjee amid the infighting that was reported within the Trinamool, the top post for the nephew after this entire reshuffle. So, Abhishek Banerjee is the All India General Secretary of the TMC. Sushmita Dev, Mukul Sangma to handle the northeastern states for the TMC, and Yashwant Sinha and Chandrima Bhattacharya have been appointed as the vice presidents of the party in this reshuffle.